E.N.D here. It's time for my honest review of Throne of Eldraine. Every Magic the Gathering set that is released, I do this type of video and a review of the set exactly after spoiler season is ended. Now it's time for this review, reviewing Throne of Eldraine. Spoiler season have ended a day ago, and let's see if this is a good set, is a medium set, or it as a bad set. At the end of the videos I will also give the scores for this set based on certain categories, and there is also my wow card. My wow card is that particular card that I think will do a lot for this set. Let's begin our review. One of the most important things in every Magic the Gathering set is the land cycle. For Throne of Eldraine we don't have a dual land cycle, but we have a monocolor land cycle. Every land, every rare land will give you an added value for 2 or 3 mana depending of the color of the land. Now, usually dual lands hold a lot of value, especially for standard and modern, and monocolor lands don't hold a lot of value. But in the past we have seen certain particular lands, Zendikar land cycle like Colonnade, Celestial Colonnade. We have seen this type of lands, Horizon Canopy, another particular land, rare land that really and truly was very expensive. We have seen this type of lands that they have appreciated value. My opinion, the land cycle is a good land cycle, but we have to wait for standard if these lands will see a lot of play. Next one, Planeswalker. Apart from the land cycle, every set, every value in every set in Magic the Gathering, nowadays it is valued with its Planeswalkers. Throne of Eldraine has 3 Planeswalkers, Oko, Thief of Crowns, the Royal Scions, and the return of Garruk, Curse Huntsman. In my opinion, these 3 Planeswalkers, they are quite powerful Planeswalkers. Already pre-release prices, they range between $15 to $20 depending which Planeswalkers, which makes the set quite good in value with these 3 Planeswalkers. Obviously these 3 Planeswalkers, they are mythic, therefore it will be harder to find in your booster boxes. Now, something new with Throne of Eldraine is Project Booster Fun. Project Booster Fun means that now in every booster box you can find different art, different frame for certain cards in the set. In case of Planeswalkers, we have 3 borderless Planeswalker cards with different art. This is the Royal Scions. We have also a beautiful Oko, Thief of Crowns, and we have Garruk, Cursed Huntsman. All these cards, they have different art, they are borderless, and obviously the pull rate of these cards, it is 1 in every booster box, and there's no guarantee that you will find the mythic borderless Planeswalker. Also, pull rate of foil special frame cards, it is a very rare. It is 1 in every box, but there are other special frame cards that can be common, uncommon, or also rare. Therefore, finding a foil borderless Planeswalker, it is a very difficult task, and these cards I'm sure will be priced quite high. I would estimate at around $300. Project Booster Fun does not mean only borderless Planeswalker, there are also the showcases. In Throne of Eldraine we have these cards that have adventures, and for every adventure card we have a different art, a different frame, and a different showcase for these cards. In my opinion, these are beautiful cards, beautiful crafted. You can find commons, there are uncommons, there are also rare, and there are also mythics. These cards, similar to the borderless Planeswalker, I'm sure they will be very expensive, and their foil version will be extremely expensive. And I'm comparing the foil version of these special frame cards to the masterpieces that you would find in Battle of Zendikar, Kaladesh or Amonkhet. I think that the best cards with the special frame in foil will be between $300 and $400 each. In Project Booster Fund there is something else. There is the extended art. These cards can be found only in the collector booster packs. These cards cannot be found in your normal draft booster pack. They can be only found in those particular special packs. Even though they are still there, they are still part of the set, and they are quite expensive. Extended art means that the art is extended to the borders, and as for the showcase and borderless planeswalkers, these cards in foil will be extremely expensive, especially the strong cards. Next, we have the mechanics. The mechanics in this set, they are extremely fun mechanics. Obviously, Throne of Eldraine rotates around Fairy Tales and Knights of Camelot. Therefore, one of the mechanics is the adventure, where you can cast the adventure and then cast the creature later on in the game. Or you can cast the creature and don't cast the adventure. The other mechanic, it's another fun mechanic, it is food. You can transform creatures, even your opponent's creatures, into food and, let's say, eat the food. You will pay to tap, sacrifice the food, and you will gain 3 life. The last mechanic is Adamant. Adamant is a particular mechanic that focuses on mono color decks, where if you cast a spell with 3 of the same color, you will get added value in the spell. Otherwise, you will get the normal ability of the spell. More about Throne of Eldraine. We have the Brawl decks. With Throne of Eldraine, Wizard of the Coast is pushing for Brawl, Brawl format. I must admit that at first I was a lot skeptic about Brawl. My opinion is that why play Brawl when you can play Commander? Why play with a limited number of cards when you can play with all the cards in Commander? But I must admit that the 4 commanders for Brawl, they were fun to play on Magic Arena. I really enjoyed playing, and a lot of players recognize how strong these commanders are. And I think Brawl will get a little bit of push with Throne of Eldraine. Now, a good set is defined by lands, is defined by planeswalkers, but obviously you have to have good mythics. And this set has quite a good number of mythics. A particular cycle in this set are these particular legendary artifacts, where you can cast these type of artifact for less depending on the ability. In case of the Magic Mirror, depend how many instant and sorcery cards you have in your graveyard. In case of the Circle of Loyalty, how many knights you control. In case of the Cauldron of Eternity, how many creatures you have in your graveyard. The Great Henge, I think the most powerful out of the 5 artifacts. This costs X, depending on the power of among the greatest creature you have. And Embercleave, it's 1 less for each attacking creature you control. This particular cycle is a very strong cycle, and I think that these artifacts will see a lot of play, both in Standard and I think also in Modern. There are obviously other mythics. The Questing Beast, in my opinion, the best card in the set, but it's not my WoW card. My WoW card is another card, but let's face the truth, this is the best card in the set. There are Renkil, Master of Pranks, another very good monocolor commander. Robber of the Rich, another very good mythic cards. This set has quite good mythic cards. Now, the rare cards. Obviously, in every set you will find 4, 5 maybe 6 mythics, and those 4 or 5 mythics does not really give you full value for your box. Therefore you need good rare cards, and this set has good rare cards. One of them I think is this card, Once Upon a Time. For 1 and 1 green, if the spell is the first spell you cast this game, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, may reveal a creature or a land card among them, put it into your hand. It is a very, very strong card, and this card is already around $10 to $12, and I think in the future it will be more expensive, especially if it sees modern play. There are other rares that have a good value. I'm talking around $5 to $10. Murderous Rider, another very good card that has an adventure, and this adventure is a very good one. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. It's a very, very strong card. Gilded Goose, a very, very good mana dork. Emery Larker of the Loch, and Fabled Passage. Fabled Passage, this card, in my opinion, this card could have been much, much better. This is a fetch land, but the fetch land works only if you have 4 or more lands. If you have less, it will get you a basic lands tapped. It is a good card. I think they should have done it a little bit better, maybe 2 or 3 instead of 4, but obviously in terms of value, this is already between $5 to $7. We have Sorcery Spyglass, obviously with Ixalan going out of rotation of standard. This card makes again its way into standard because it was released in Throne of Eldraine. We have another return, Opt. This card obviously was going to rotate out from standard because Dominaria and Ixalan was rotating out, but thanks to Throne of Eldraine, we will see again Opt. Uncommons. There are 2 uncommon cards which they have a little bit of value. When I say a bit of value, it's between $1 and $2. Unfortunately, in standard booster boxes, it is very rare to have uncommon that break the $5 mark. I think the last one was Fatal Push. This one is a very good card. Each player can cast more than 1 non-creature spell each turn. And we have also Drown in the Loch. A very versatile card and a very interesting card. Next, the Buy a Box promo. The Buy a Box promo, we have seen strong Buy a Box promo. I'm talking about Nexus of Fate. We have seen not that good Buy a Box promo. For Throne of Eldraine, we have Kenred the Return King. Kenred the Return King, this is, in my opinion, a very good Buy a Box promo, and I urge you to buy boxes from your LGS so that you can get these cards. These cards, obviously this can be a very strong commander. It can be a 5-color commander because it has the 5 colors, and the value of this card, I think, in the future can go up in price. As I said, a very good Buy a Box promo for Throne of Eldraine. Now, as I said, I'm going to give the scores for Throne of Eldraine as a set. The scores are based on certain categories. In this case, standard, I give it 6.5. It is not a very high mark, it's not a very high score, but because, in my opinion, standard, there are quite good cards for Throne of Eldraine, but still we don't know what decks we will be playing or what strong decks there will be after the rotation. This is why I give it 6.5. Maybe in a month's time this mark can go up or down, but let's see what standard will be with Throne of Eldraine. For modern I gave it 5.5. It is a very low score. Personally, I don't see a lot of cards that can be playable in modern. There are 1 or 2 cards that can be playable in modern. I have already discussed. Once Upon a Time is one of them, but the rest, they are quite high casting value cards, and I don't think they will see a lot of tier 1 decks. This is why in modern I gave it 5.5. Commander, I gave it a 7 because we are excluding here the Brawl commanders. If there were the Brawl commanders, this will be 8. Obviously, Brawl Commanders that are not part of Throne, you will not find those cards in Throne of Eldraine booster boxes. You can find those cards only if you buy the Brawl deck. And there's another reason for the 7, because this particular set does not have good multicolor commanders. This set focuses on monocolor commanders, and commander players prefer to play multicolor players for their versatility, and therefore this is why I gave it 7. If there were a couple of good legendary creatures that had multicolor, I think this mark could have been quite higher. Because the legendary creatures in this set, they are monocolor, this is why I gave it 7. Value for this set, it is 7.5. 7.5 only because I'm afraid that a lot of players will crack a lot of booster packs only to find the special border cards, the borderless planeswalkers and the showcases. Thus I'm surely will reduce the value of the singles, and this is why I gave it a 7.5. On the other side, obviously the special cases, the showcases, the special border, the borderless, those will hold a lot of value, and if you can find one of those cards in your booster box, you will hit the jackpot. Overall I gave it a 7. Throne of Eldraine is a very interesting set. It's a very fun set. I think a lot of players will be playing this set, will be drafting this set, and this is why I gave it 7. It is a very good set, but obviously if you compare it with War of the Spark, where War of the Spark would have gone a very, very high score. War of the Spark was a very good set. I think one of the best sets recently released. And when you compare Throne of Eldraine with that set, I cannot give it more than War of the Spark. This is why overall Throne of Eldraine, for me, it's a score 7. Now it's time for my wow card. My wow card is that card that in my opinion will be interesting and will make a lot of players thinking how they can do better decks with this card. And my wow card is E.N.D. Crack Feat. E.N.D. Crack Feat for 1 and 3 red. You add 7 red mana, but you can cast only one more spell this turn. In my opinion, this is a very, very strong card, and I'm sure it's one of those few cards that will see modern play, and I'm sure RDW Red Deck Wins will be back in Standard. This is the end for my honest review about this set. Honestly, this is a very good set, and I think in the future, very similar to Lorwyn, will be extremely valued. And that brings us to the end of this video, and for every end of every good fairy tale, everyone lives happily ever after. You can leave me a comment below if you like this set, if you are geared for this set, and if you are happy with this set, or if you agree with my scores. And here the subscription button, subscribe for my channel for more interesting videos of future Magic the Gathering products.